Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that crazy. I'm a man. I took up the wall. I took up the wall. I took up the wall. I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition on Split Decision. With me today, I have the one and only DHP CEO, Bill Haney. How you doing, Bill?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always. Thank you for having me, good brother. It's always a pleasure to come on here and cook with you.
Yes, sir. Pleasure having you. Like always, Bill Haney. Now, there's always a lot to talk about every single time when it comes to Devin Haney for some reason. Now, starting it off with the most popular topic at the moment in time, which is, obviously Lomachenko. He agreed to fight Devin Haney come May on Twitter. So what happened once you guys sent a contract to his team or sent an offer to his team?
Well, the infamous Twitter, response that he gave after Devin asked, where was he? His response back that, that he's here, and he's waiting. He asked Devin to, was he the one that was organizing it? I took on the liberty to reach out to his team, the great Igis Klimas, who's a great guy, and Lomachenko's manager. And do my best to make the fight happen. Igis Klimas, he said some things that didn't give me a whole lot of optimism, but we're always patient. He then talked to Eddie Hearn, reached out to Eddie Hearn, and told Eddie Hearn to reach out to Bob. I know that after talking to Eddie, that we have a six-figure a deal on play for Lomachenko to come over to the zone. You know what I mean? So we're waiting to hear back. Of course, a lot of the rumors have been publicized that the Linares fight was in the bag already. Of course, we've been talking to Linares, and Linares fight was something that Eddie had pretty much all but closed the deal on. Then the Lomachenko stuff came into play, where Devin and him went back and forth. Now, to the people, must understand that this was the first time that Lomachenko had ever responded to Devin in a way that he was saying that he was ready. He was ready and being ready in the end of April, May. So, I didn't want to let that go, go by the wayside. So I advised Eddie to do what it took to make that fight happen, because I knew that was the fight that the people wanted to see. That was the fight that we have been trying to get for a long time. We take nothing away from the Lomachenko team and what they've been doing. I think that he's a great fighter, but I know that there's something special about Dev, and it's just a fight that we know that we want, and we feel very comfortable and confident in. So that's where that stands. Of course, if it's not Lomachenko, Jorge Linares is someone else that I have a whole lot of respect for and what he's did and what he brings to the table. He raised his hand, And should the thing not work with Lomachenko, the deal is already in place for Linares.
Yeah, so obviously there's been multiple fighters in the past, such as Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, that negotiated with multiple fighters at the same time. So this is nothing new, So pretty much Linares is the backup plan. But the main fight that Devin Haney and his team wanted was Lomachenko.
Absolutely, absolutely, unequivocally. You know what I mean? Without doubt, undeniably, we want Lomachenko, and we want him now.
Now, obviously, ESPN and DAZN always work hand to hand. Lomachenko, now there's news by media outlets that he's exclusive to ESPN. So that's what they say, right?
Well, I'm not listening. Yeah, I'm not listening. Great, and I hate to cut you off with that, but I'm not listening to what the media is saying. I'm listening to what Lomachenko said, and Lomachenko said that he's ready, and he has the ample amount of time. In his own words, that's adequate time for preparation for a May date, and for all intent purposes, it's full steam ahead in terms of trying to make that thing happen.
That's right, and obviously the point I was trying to bring up is that DAZN and ESPN always work together, and they trying to work on a mega fight right now, which is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is exclusive to ESPN, and Anthony Joshua is obviously under DAZN. So how come is this an issue all of a sudden now? Out of nowhere, Lomachenko fighting on ESPN. Now that's a problem that came out of nowhere. What's your thoughts on pretty much old media establishing damage control to save face for Lomachenko, who seems not to be interested to fight your son, Devin Haney?
Well, I mean, one thing that we don't take lightly is being called cowards of any sort. You know what I mean? He took it and he turned it into something more personal than just business by calling Devin a coward. We hold him to his words, and by all stretch of the imagination, there's no reason why he would say that he's available in May, to tell Devin to organize it, and then not be available in May to come fight on DAZN, because he doesn't have a date in May on ESPN. So, I mean, what he was talking about was Devin. What Devin said, that he had a date in May, and he said that he has an ample enough time. So we're going to hold him to that. You know what I mean? And we're moving forward. We're pressing forward and sending over something that Eddie described as, like I said, it's a 7-figure deal.
Now Lomachenko and his team, they hide in behind the 90-year-old man, which is Bob Arum. Obviously they saying that Bob Arum is kind of like the roadblock, when Bob Arum, a similar guy that he has, which is Crawford, he's offering him to Al Heyman. So we know Bob Arum is not the issue, because Bob, out of his own mouth, he said at the end of the day, it's up to the fighter if he really want the fight. So what's going on with Lomachenko team? Because Loma told you to contact his manager, then your manager tells you to contact Bob, and then Bob want to say Lomachenko exclusive to ESPN. So it just seemed like a bunch of excuses to save face for Lomachenko. Now, are you optimistic that the fight is going to come to fruition at all, or you think, at the moment in time, is a foregone conclusion is Linares?
Well, I'm hopeful. I'm happy the fact that we're at a level where now, qualified opponents that are approved by the fans and the people. You know what I mean? Because that's something that we choose to work towards. It's highly documented that Devin is a fighter that's getting paid, so it's not about the money. We've never heard us talk about the money or talk about the lack of. We always look to the admiration and the acceptance of the people, of the fans, the ones that are actually paying the bills. The network facilitates the fights, but they don't facilitate a fight that the people aren't behind. So we know that the people are calling for this fight, and this is a fight that we're almost, we're demanding our promoter, our co-promoter, and Eddie Hearn, to make happen, to do as much as he can to make happen. And the world will see what we're going to do to Lomachenko should he get in the ring in May.
Now, Bob did say that He likes the Devin Haney fight. He said he likes it, and it could come to fruition after Devin Haney contract is up with the Zone. He's not talking about now. He's talking about later. This is the recent interview that Bob Arum had, in which he said, you know, he likes the Devin Haney fight for Lomachenko, just not now, once his contract is up with his own. So what's your thoughts on Bob Arum comments of pretty much not wanting to fight right now and just wanting it down the line?
Well, that's not the way that we do business. That's not the way that we learn to do business. Is we go into it with a partner, and we go into it to deliver. Right? We signed up for the amount of fights that we signed up for, and we're not through until we're through. So we don't want to discuss any kind of options or plans while in agreement with Eddie. And as far as we've known, you know what I mean. It's been a great partnership, right? But it's about delivering. You know, and delivering the biggest and best fights and being available for the biggest and the best fights to happen. The fights that the people are clamoring for, you know, and they want that Lomachenko fight. They want the Lomachenko and Devin fight. You know, now the Lomachenko team and Vasyl has answered. He's answered to the bell, you know what I mean? But we have yet to hear any other response from it. So until then, you know, I respectfully reserve the right to, you know, him being, you know, him answering the bell, you know, and it being a fight with Lomachenko. But of course, make no mistake about it, is though we don't look at any of the opponents, whether it be Teofimo Lopez, whether it be Ryan Garcia, whether it be Javier Fortuna, none of the opponents. We don't take anyone lightly, right? And it's not about at this point in time who we're picking, right? It's the people, it's the fighters that's available, it's the network, you know what I mean? Because we'll take all of them. We'll fight anybody right now. Devin is at a point where, you know what I'm saying? He's like, he's on another level right now, bro. We're not playing with nobody. You know what I'm saying? When next time that you see Devin, you're going to see a growth in Devin that is going to be unbelievable, right? We're in camp, right? And I'm watching him every day. We're not taking no prisoners. We don't care who it is. It can be Lomachenko. It can be whoever. You know what I'm saying? It could be Jorge Linares, you know what I mean, Javier Fortuna. It didn't make no difference with me personally. You know, Eddie Hearn was negotiating with Jorge Linares for the fight, right? I had a discussion with Javier Fortuna's manager, Samson, you know, after the numerous times that I didn't talk to Samson, right? Samson, he raised his hand, and Javier Fortuna raised his hand, their hands after Eddie had started negotiating with Jorge Linares. I spoke with him about that, right? He said that the Jorge Linares fight was a fight that not only that he wanted, the Zone wanted, also the WBC approved of it, right? And then came the talks of Lomachenko and Devin talking. So I was kind of questioning whether or not Lomachenko was talking because he had heard the talks between Jorge Linares and Devin. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's hold up, Eddie. Go ahead and talk to Bob. Go talk to Bob, and let's see, can we make this thing happen? And if Lomachenko thinks that Devin is sweet or he push over, come on, Lomachenko, come now. You see what I'm saying? Let's get it now. Let's stop all the bullshit. Let's stop all the talking. I've reached out to your manager, Igis Klimas, several times. I got it on text. You know what I'm saying? So let us know what's happening, man. We're not playing with you guys, man. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to show you who a coward is.
That's right. Now, if Lomachenko is exclusive to ESPN, then why he was calling out Gervonta Tank Davis for years, who was exclusive to Showtime?
Bro,
was Lomachenko just clout chasing? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like, so it don't make no sense.
I'm not listening to what the media is saying. I'm not listening to what nobody is saying. Vasyl Lomachenko has been on the pound for pound list. You know, he's a hell of a fighter, right? I'm sure he's in control of his career right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm certain he's in sure. So I'm listening to him. I'm listening to his last tweet, and that's all that I'm listening to. The last time that I came on here with you, I told you that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? And I've been all business about that since then. You know, the rubber that met the road. You know, he said what he said. Devin said what he said. So let's make it happen.
Now, there's obviously multiple fighters on Top Rank that fall elsewhere, like Ramirez, so on and so forth. Now, Lomachenko, he is coming off a loss. So fighting Devin Haney, that's like a VIP ticket back to the top. Now, are you surprised that he reluctant, knowing that he's coming off a loss? Like he don't have no belt. Devin is the champion, so I understand him avoiding Devin Haney when Devin was his mandatory. But when tables turn, he's still avoiding Devin Haney. How shocking is that to you?
Well, I'm not gonna say that he's avoiding Devin Haney, because the last thing I heard is he told Devin to organize it, to make it happen. What we did was we talked to our co-promoter and Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn agreed that he was going to send off an offer that was a respectable offer for the position that Lomachenko was in, right? And if Lomachenko thinks there's something that's sweet about Devin, then come on, get the money and take the belt. But I don't see it that way. Devin is going to punish the shit out of Lomachenko for all the shit that he done talked, for all the time that he done made us wait. You see what I'm saying? And we ready now. Just like I told him, we ready now for anybody. And more importantly, we ready for Lomachenko right now. Not next fight, not none of that shit. Right now.
Yeah, well, I did a poll and everybody want to see Devin versus Lomachenko next. However, like I said, it takes two to rumble. Now, obviously, there was news that came out last week that Linares, he told Devin Haney, "You lying? Devin never sent me a contract." He was in denial, but now all of a sudden, there's news that he agreed to the fight and he signed to fight Devin. So what happened there when Linares was denying the fact there was a contract sent? All of a sudden now that they agree to fight.
As far as I know, that it's a deal that they've agreed to in principle, but I don't think he's signed. He hasn't signed anything, and Devin hasn't signed anything. But it's a deal on the table in principle. But I'm confident and more than sure that the Lomachenko fight between Lomachenko and Devin, could that be agreed to, that fight will take precedence over Linares.
Yes, sir. Now, what will it take to get Lomachenko to sign? That's the $1 million question. What do you think?
I don't think. I'm just waiting.
Well, we're waiting with you, Bill. Now, reports have came out that Devin is making $3 million if it's against Linares. Now, can you explain to the viewers and the fans that's listening that, when it comes to a lot of fighters, they obviously have to pay different splits to different, managers, promoters. But when it comes to Devin, he gets, the whole budget. Everything goes straight to his pocket.
Yeah, well, Devin, Devin, like we've said before, Devin is a boss. Devin is the one he's the promoter. The money goes to him. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, he ends up with bills. But you know what I mean? It's bills that he pays based on the way that he, depending on the fight, who he's brought in, right? As trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, all fighters have bills. But there's no promoter fee when it goes to his money because he's the promoter.
Yeah, so he get to keep all the money. Now, congratulations on that. Not too many 22-year-old make $3 million. I don't know, I don't know if you're familiar with UFC, Bill, but one of my favorite fighters, Israel, he fought last week and he made $340,000. But that's in the UFC though. So obviously, fighters and boxers are blessed in the sport. Now, how do you feel about Coppinger? He announced the Linares fight with Devin Haney, but he gave him a backhand compliment, claiming that Linares been stopped before, then tried to justify why Lomachenko is ducking Devin, right? Now, mind you, Linares is coming off a knockout victory, and he coming off victories back to back. And
Linares in the last 18 fights prior to his loss, right? They want to go back to 5 fights, and they want to talk about the loss to Lomachenko, and then they want to talk about the loss where he stepped up in weight and was overwhelmed by a Kano that jumped on him in the first round. But prior to that, he hadn't lost a fight in like 18 fights, right? So he had 18 fights more than Lomachenko has had. He has 18 fights more than Teofimo Lopez has had, right? And with the 2 losses. Lomachenko also has 2 losses within the last whatever amount of time. So, I mean, let's not do the comparison, right? Linares is a hell of a fighter. He's been a hell of a fighter. Lomachenko was a hell of a fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a hell of a fighter. It's just something special about Dev, and we want to put him on the stage, get him on that stage, and show him. Unless it's time to show. Ain't no time to be pointing and saying who ain't what and who ain't. You won't get that here from me. You know what I mean? Saying that they ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? What only time that you will ever hear me talking about a position is when they try to undermine what the position that Devin is in to talk about somebody that's under him, right? Somebody that's lesser ranked or somebody that doesn't have a belt. Then I have to substantiate it by comparing Devin's resume to the person that you're trying to say that's just more qualified, right? The rubber has met the road. They've got a chance to build that four belt championship on ESPN. You know what a great job ESPN did. What a great job Top Rank did. You know what I mean? But that's over with. You know, you got champions that have been undisputed, truly undisputed, like the Usyks of the world, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, right? Once that happens, that does not mean that you do continue to make those big fights happen. A big fight for Devin and T.O. is inevitable, right? So to say what he has accomplished before means shit to us. Come do it to us. You know what I mean? That's what we're saying, right? And, you know, everyone wants to throw these obstacles and these roadblocks that we're going to look the other direction, right? We're going to turn away from Lomachenko, start looking at Nakatani or looking at Richard Comey. Or that's really slick of the people to do, but we've been in this business for quite some time and we've been bosses in it. You see what I'm saying? We're staying focused. We're looking at the top of the food chain, where we belong, where we are at, where we're the position we're in. You see what I'm saying? So let's make it happen.
That's right. Well said, Bill. And obviously the point I was trying to bring up is that Coppinger, he a reporter. He reports news like, you know, breaking news and stuff. I didn't hear him say when he announced Canelo versus Avini that Avini was coming off a loss, but he gonna bring up the loss Linares lost couple fights ago, which makes no sense at all.
Or Yildirim. Yildirim was, yeah, and Yildirim was off for 2 years, and no one ever talked about that, right? No one ever talked about him. No one ever talked about the fact that he got $2.5 million to come in there and do what he did. You know what I'm saying? All these fighters need to get paid. They deserve to get paid. You see what I'm saying? This is a sport that for a very long time, for too long, right? Fighters have been grossly underpaid. They've sacrificed their lives. They sacrifice, you know, time with their families and everything, you know what I mean, for chump change. It's about time that the fighters get paid for what they do. They sacrifice their lives for the amusement of the fans. You know what I mean? And that's just the way the sport is. It's the sport that they chose, and they should get paid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why reporters got to do their job and bring up the facts that Linares was avoided by Ryan. Ryan didn't want to fight Linares, and Linares dropped Lomachenko, and that's what we should talk about instead of going back a few fights ago to discredit Linares in order to discredit Devin Haney opponent, you know, or that's willing to step up to the table. Linares willing to step up to the table. I don't see Lomachenko stepping up to the table. So that's all I'm saying. Now, Oscar De La Hoya, he came out and said that he's very frustrated with Ryan. He said Haney will be a great fight to make. This is what De La Hoya said. He said, but when it comes to the Pacquiao situation, it was never on the table. Hopefully, sooner or later, we can talk some sense into him and get something done. So this is Oscar De La Hoya.
That's what they get. That's what Oscar get for weaseling with Devin and keep saying that what Devin needs to do and all this other shit, right? Because you were trying to make other fights, and then both Ryan and T.O. did shit to their promoter, and then their promoter wants to come back and now look for Devin to clean them up. You know what I'm saying? Because they want them to get their ass whooped. They want T.O. to get his ass whooped, and they want Ryan to get his ass whooped, and they want Devin Haney to do it. You see what I'm saying? You should have kept it straight. You see what I'm saying? And did straight business instead of trying to avoid what the people wanted to happen. You know what I mean? And you souped them fighters up. You know what I mean? And then they got people in their ears, and then it went all bad. You know what I'm saying? It went all bad for y'all. Now you telling the truth. Yesterday you was lying. Now you telling the truth. You see what I'm saying? When we knew all along that these was the fights that the people wanted to see. And we already knew that Devin was in the position. He been knowing them kids. Each of them kids, they got history. You see what I'm saying? So when you said that, now they saying, oh yeah, well, Devin Haney is good. Devin Haney is good. Yeah, I know he's good now.
That's right. That's right. Now he is saying, yeah, so Oscar is pretty much kind of, you know, pointing out that Ryan is Devin Haney mandatory, and instead he said that he pretty much went on Instagram, announced the Pacquiao fight when it was never on the table Pretty much that's for Instagram. In other words, it's for clout. So what's your thoughts on
Pacquiao ain't on the table. Tank Davis ain't on the table. You know what I mean? And for the first time in history, you done seen a fighter fight a very talented, you know what I mean, and durable Luke Campbell, stop him in a title eliminator, right? To fight Devin Haney, right? To become the mandatory, and then he's looking all around, looking everywhere, but looking over there at Devin Haney. You see what I'm saying? This has never happened before, people. This never happened before, to my knowledge. You need to find somebody that fought a good fight, a good opponent, right? In Luke Campbell, right? And then got the praise from the people, what a warrior he is. He got up off the ground. He fought a credible opponent. Guess what? We said, bring Jorge Linares, the fighter that beat Luke Campbell, the fighter that just set Lomachenko on his ass. Bring him to us. You see what I'm saying? And then you want to start switching it. You want to start saying, oh, well, he's this and he's that. Ryan Garcia and Jorge Linares is on the same side of the street. They're under the same company, under the same banner, on the same network. And Ryan Garcia didn't want Jorge Linares. He didn't want no parts of him. You see what I'm saying? So if he doesn't want to fight Devin, then we said bring Jorge Linares on. I see all value in all the guys. Devin is 22, right? Each fighter is going to bring out more of Devin's toolbox. You know what I'm saying? But we're not playing with him, man. We're not playing with none of you jokers, man, at all. Devin gonna smash you. Soon as y'all get in the ring, any one of you, the next time I promise, he's going to smash you in front of the world. I know what you're scared of. You're scared to get embarrassed, and that's just what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Either he's gonna knock you out, embarrass you, or both.
And another thing we never seen before, which we got to keep pointing it out, which is I never seen a fighter that's a mandatory to a pound for pound champion. Devin Haney, when he was Lomachenko mandatory, the champion gave up the belt. He surrendered a belt. And then Devin Haney, once he is champion, none of his mandatories wants to fight him, which is, you know, has never been seen in the sport of boxing. And my man said, what's the point of a mandatory if it's not a mandatory? And that's what
one thing about the people, man. You know what I'm saying? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you ain't gonna fool all the people all the time. You know what I'm saying? I told you, the rubber that met the road, they running out of excuses. You know what I'm saying? And for that matter, Teofimo Lopez didn't want to give Lomachenko another shot, another rematch, even though the people was asking for it. He acting like that the people ain't asking for it, that they prefer Cambosos or whatever. So we said, guess what? Bring Lomachenko to us then. Since you ain't gonna fight, bring him to us then. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way it goes. Now, if Lomachenko feels that he's sweet, then he's gonna be all over the deal. He's gonna be all over us like a cheap suit. You know what I'm saying? And ready to go to anywhere. Ready to go out in the backyard if it means getting back on the table, because ain't nobody checking for him. Ryan Garcia ain't trying to fight him. Tank Davis ain't trying to fight him. Teofimo Lopez ain't trying to fight him. So what's the holdup?
Well, the holdup is Lomachenko's looking to fight Nakatani in July or August. What's your thoughts on that? You know, him saying that I'll be ready in April or May to fight Devin, and now he's looking to fight Nakatani in July or August when he could fight Devin now and then fight Nakatani later. What's your thoughts on that?
He could have fought Devin. He took a year. It was a year that he took to fight. Matter of fact, I need to make sure. I think it was a year from the time that he had fought to the time that he had fought Teofimo Lopez, which he could have fought Devin the whole year. That was the longest of inactivity that he ever had in the time that he's been a professional, is when Devin was his mandatory, right? And they says, well, he's not his mandatory. Well, he's the interim champion, right? Ryan Garcia is our mandatory. He's the interim champion. So why wasn't Devin your mandatory? Oh, he was never the mandatory. That's what the fans want to say. That's what the Lomachenko fans, the Teofimo fans want to say. He was never a mandatory. Devin was the interim champion, just like Ryan Garcia was the interim champion. When he decided to go to the franchise to get a franchise belt, what do you need a franchise belt for, right? What the fuck do you need a franchise belt? You're the fucking WBC world champion, right? And you're going to make a undisputed. right? What do you need a franchise belt for? For what? Other than the fact of you have a mandatory in Devin Haney, and you have to do it in 6 months, because if you get a vacant title, you got to defend it in 6 months. If you beat a champion, you got a year. So he was going to have to defend, because Teofimo, they could not get the Richard Comey shit together, and they couldn't get the fight together within the 6 month time. So Bob, being the smart, intelligent Hall of Fame promoter that he is, right? You know, I always give credit to the matchmakers over there. First and foremost, Brad Jacobs and Bruce Trampler, who do a wonderful job at positioning their fighters, right, to be great, right? They opted to go with the franchise tag, right? And then they camouflaged it as if he was going to be great. He was going to do some great things, but he took a year off. He took a year off to do it, right? And if we can put that kind of heat on Ryan Garcia for not taking it, right, then the same thing would apply to Devin Haney, right? Becoming the interim champion. What do you become the interim champion for if you're not knocking on the door of the world champion? You're going to just sit there to be the interim champion? So just like with now, if Ryan Garcia wanted to fight Devin, right? Devin, and he's the interim champion, who else would he fight? He would then become the world champion, right? That means that Devin would either vacate, or Devin would go the franchise route, and then Ryan Garcia would say, wait a minute, I have to fight again? I just fought for the mandatory to fight the champion, so now I have to fight somebody else again? You just fought Luke Campbell. So if Devin was to drop the belt, you got to fight again? That's where they start that email bullshit, right? The top-ranked staff and the top-ranked brass and Teofimo Lopez and all that started that email bullshit. Then when it came time for him with the 4 belts, he emailed before he even won the fight. Before he even got to fight, he sent the email over and said, if I should win, will I be the franchise champion? So Mauricio, right? He has a sanctioning body, but that doesn't make his judgment as him being God, or make him any more have the eye test any more than you, me, or anybody else. He has an opinion. He's a man just like I'm a man. If he says that he believes that made him the supreme champion, right? Cool. You can't go too far with that. So soon as you get through parading around the corner with your supreme champion, bring your ass back over here and let's get it on. Because where else do you go? Okay, you go to Cambosos. Now you come back out and said that you can call Mauricio, and Teofimo said he can call Mauricio and become the mandatory. You know what I'm saying? You could have did that the first time. You're talking about you can call him now, you can call him after. You could have been did that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about next. I'm not talking about 2 years from now. The only thing that we've ever did is one step at a time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on, bro. Who is it? Oh. Come on, bro. I'm coming here on you so late.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bill, you cooking. Hey, so one thing for sure, Devin is the WBC champion today because Lomachenko surrendered his belt to avoid Devin. And that's how Devin became a champion because Lomachenko won't fight him. And that's why Devin changed his last name to Lomachenko. Now, 2 things for certain, like you was talking about, Top Rank actually has a motto of the NBF rule, which is according to their matchmakers, they got to go by that rule. NBF, avoid these fighters at all costs. This is what the Top Rank matchmakers said, so just to show you what the franchise is all about, and why.
Yeah, I don't listen to that shit when you just sent Tyson Fury on over there to jump on Deontay Wilder. I don't want to hear nothing about no NBF shit. I don't even pay no attention to that. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's all about if they think you sweet, they going to jump all over you. They don't care what color you are. You know what I'm saying? This shit is about green. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to listen to nothing about what we can't do, right? We done worked our ass off, you know what I'm saying, in this business, and we're not going to listen to we're not even going to put that energy out there that is NBF. You see what I'm saying? Because when you start thinking that it's NBF, then you start slacking off on your work. You start slacking off your work, and you start thinking that your number, you ain't going to never get called. They ain't going to never knock on your door because it's NBF. No, it ain't NBF, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's just Devin got the skills that, he got the skills to pay the bills. And they've avoided him. They've ducked him. They've dodged him. But the rubber done met the road. They running out of excuses. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the one thing that can't be an excuse, though, and we could both agree on this, is the money. That money can't be the excuse because Devin is about to make $3 million plus fighting whoever, Linares, Lomachenko, whoever. So the money can't be the excuse. So what the heck is the excuse if Devin got a belt and all the above? Then what is it?
Man, listen, we're not worried about no money. You know what I'm saying? If our houses get any more bigger, we're gonna need a bullhorn. You dig what I'm saying? We're gonna need a bullhorn in these joints, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna need walkie-talkies. You dig what I'm saying? To talk from room to room if our house gets any bigger. We ain't worried about money. We ain't never talked about money. What we're talking about is the admiration of the fans, man. The people that pay the bills, man. That's what we're about. You know what I'm saying? Is delivering. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw, man. Like the old throwback fighters, you know what I mean, of yesteryear. You know what I'm saying? That got in there and handled their business. And that's it. That's all, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? What would Michael Jordan be if he wasn't on that big stage against the Detroit Bad Boys? You know what I mean? What would LeBron be if he couldn't get on the stage against Stephen Curry and all them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the shit is all about, man. You know, is being on that big stage and performing in front of the people. Period. It takes two to tango. You see, Devin, that's what he even talked about with Teofimo Lopez when they met up. All you got to do is just look at it on Barbershop Conversations. Devin then said, then we can fight. You know what I'm saying? And he said, well, you know, this fight is going to happen sooner than people think, right? I don't think Teofimo Lopez thought that it was going to be sooner, but I guarantee you, though, this, to the Lopez family, Tio and Tio Sr., Tio Jr., when Devin gets you in the ring, we're going to punish you. You know what I mean? We're going to punish you for all the shit that you done did, all the shit that you done made him wait. I guarantee you that.
Yes, sir. And Sugar Ray Leonard wouldn't be Sugar Ray Leonard without Hagler, Hearn, Duran, and the Fabulous Four of his time, the golden era. So with that being said, Teofimo Lopez said, me and Devin Haney can agree to fight now, to fight next after we done with our fights coming up. What's your thoughts on him making that comment? And now wanting to agree to a later fight when he have problems with Bob Arum, so on and so forth. But what's your thoughts on him claiming that he's willing to negotiate now and agree to a fight later this year?
Listen, Teofimo Lopez, you never know what he's going to say because he's constantly flipping and flopping. You know what I mean? He said that he was waiting for Ramirez and he was waiting for Josh Taylor, you know, when Bob Arum said, okay, you did me like that? Well, watch. Now it's going to come a time when you want Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Then he comes back and says, okay, well, we can do something. We can sign something now. Come on, my man. You know what I'm saying? What is it going to be? Period. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, well, he did say that he was going to send you guys a contract and he never did. Now, if you guys need to agree to a later date, do you guys contacted him or he going to contact you guys or what's going on?
I mean, you know, when Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos decided to do what Bob Arum described as colluding, they sat down and they talked like gentlemen, right? And they discussed things behind the scenes, right? That's the same thing that we could do, right? Only thing that's different is Devin is a promoter. So that's what he's supposed to do. That's what we signed up to do, was to deliver, was to promote. What is a promoter if you're not promoting, if you're not delivering the fights? So guess what? Eddie did not knock on our door and say, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Lomachenko done said X, Y, Z. Devin did that. And Devin still said, Devin making a ton of money. He can make a ton of money to fight. As you see, he can take a ton of money to fight Linares. Why is he knocking on Lomachenko's door? Why am I on here talking about Lomachenko? Because it's the people. It's the admiration of the fans, right? It's the respect of the fans. But what has happened in reverse, Devin has respect from his peers before he got respect from the fans. Of course, he has fans that's longtime family members, friends, and we consider Devin's hardcore people as like family. You know what I mean? I always invite people out. You'll see somebody at my house. You'll see us going. We consider them family, right? When I say fans, I mean the other guys' fans. I mean the Teofimo Senior. I mean our Teofimo Junior fans. I'm talking about the Lomachenko fans. I'm talking about die-hard ride or die, the Gary Russell fans, right? These guys, right? We appreciate and we watch how hard you ride for your fighter, right? We love that. We love that. We look to have that same respect and admiration from you guys, right? For Devin, the way that you ride for the fighters. But somehow your fighters tend to respect us more than the fans, than the Loma fans, the Teofimo Senior Junior fans. I get them mixed up. Excuse me for doing that. But the Teo fans, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what this thing is all about, right? We started out, we came out of Mexico, small rooms, small places. You get 5 people, 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people, 2,000, 500,000, 1 million. You see what I'm saying? That's the work that we appreciate, man. We appreciate guys when they come up off the street and say, hey, man, you guys, man, your son is a bad dude, man. You see what I'm saying? Even if he didn't say that yesterday, we appreciate him saying it today. And guess what? Even if he wants to go against us, we still appreciate him. The only thing is that we do is say is if you don't like him, put him in the ring with the person that you like.
Yes, sir. I think that's perfectly said. The best versus the best. And Devin Haney, one thing for sure and 2 things for certain, he is the champion of the people because he always want to deliver the best fights that the fans want to see, which is Lomachenko at the moment in time, which that's exactly what Devin Haney is doing. And on the other side, they making nothing but a bunch of excuses. Now, I know you in the Devin Haney business, Bill, but I got to get your expertise. And because one thing Bill Haney knows about is numbers. So Teofimo claimed that he's going to sell 2 million pay-per-view buys against Composers on Triller as a main event. Do you see that being possible at all?
I hope so. It'll be, he will only have to do 1,999,000 more because I'm going to buy it.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. And so the last message for Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan, and more importantly, Lomachenko, because that's the fight that Devin Haney want the most now. Any last message?
You got to call Lomachenko, Mr. Igis Clemus. You know I called you, right? You know we talked. You know I'm waiting. Call me and let me know if it's good or if it's not good.
Well said, and I appreciate your time. We appreciate Devin Haney for always pushing for the best fights that the fans want to see, and we can't wait to see him against either Lomachenko or Linares, whoever is willing to step up to the table.
Thank you, brother. I just want to tell you thank you for having me on here. Excuse my energy a little bit right now. I've been trying to be cool about this whole thing, and constantly stay professional, but the thing about with Loma, it kind of it rubs us the wrong way when you say cowards. And now, you know what I'm saying? We trying to put this thing together and we're not hearing back from y'all.
No, we love it, man. We love the energy that you bring into the table. And at the end of the day, you can't call nobody a coward then hide behind a 90-year-old man. Then if Devin a coward, what the hell is Lomachenko hiding behind a 90-year-old man, making excuses not to fight Devin when he agreed to fight Devin? So at the end of the day, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, you put the whole truth together like Puzzle Bill, like you always do. Pleasure talking with you. And next time we have an update on anything, I'm definitely hitting you up like always. I have a super chat for you real quick. It's just somebody trying to holler at you. My man said, I'm trying to join the Devin Haney promotion, training for real. My coach is Robert Garcia, man. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely, brother. That's that's always anyone that's saying that they want to be a part of what we got going is is music to my ears. We're open for anything that we have no ceilings. The sky's the limit. So please, by all means, reach out to us or reach out to you. You got me on speed dial. You know, I got a house phone. You know what I mean? How many people still got a house phone? That's how serious I am about catching my messages. You did. So
That's cold. That's cold. Not too many people got a house phone. That's for
yeah.
sure. Hey, but
All right.
yeah, definitely hit Bill Haney on Instagram. I'm gonna provide his link in the description box or me, and I'll definitely get the message across. Appreciate it, Bill. Appreciate your time, like always.
Let me also say shout out to because it's always good with me and you. I want to shout out to all the people that's around the world that's on these platforms. Sharing energy. Good, bad, or indifferent. I want to thank you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because without you guys, there's not us. We can't make it happen without you guys. Shout out to everybody that's doing the podcasts. I mean, Dante. Of course, we got 7A, Black, Blue. I mean, bro, it's so many, man. You know what I mean? The Boxing Boys. I mean, shout out, bro. I just, like I said, this is the new wave of going on and getting your voice heard to the people, and you guys provide that, man. You guys provide a platform where what I did was I promised Mike McCallum that the thing that happened to him was not going to happen to my son. That the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world, the Roberto Durans, the Thomas Hearns, the way they ducked our friend and mentor and Mike McCallum, where they ducked him and it went unnoticed. I promised to him that I wasn't going to let that happen to my baby boy. So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you guys. Thank you guys for getting the message across. You know what I mean? And like I said, even the guys that don't like Deb, the guys that prefer the other fighters, for them, I also appreciate them, the energy that they go on the show and making this thing happen, man. So everybody continue what you're doing, blessings on top of blessings, and please, by all means, stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. A new media will always, push for the best fights. I appreciate you, Bill.
All right, thank you, King. Peace.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Now that's Bill Haney confirming that they offered Lomachenko the deal that he wants that will get him back to the top, a VIP pass straight to the top. Think about it. Lomachenko just lost to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo is not willing to fight Lomachenko again. So how do you get back straight to the top? You don't got to climb the ladder. No, Devin Haney's telling Lomachenko, listen, you get a straight VIP pass. Lomachenko said he's going to be ready in May. He said, go ahead and make the deal happen. And as soon as Devin Haney does so and contacts them, now it's just a bunch of excuses. Now all of a sudden, Lomachenko want to hide behind Bob Arum. Now old media want to do damage control and blame ESPN, the network. Oh, he signed with ESPN. As if all of top-ranked fighters don't fight on ESPN and they signed to ESPN. ESPN has a contract with Top Rank that all of their fighters are exclusive to them and fight under them, not under any other network. Duh. Why y'all think Bob Arum got a contract with ESPN? So his fighters could fight on ESPN and provide fights throughout the year, just like Dana White did with the UFC with ESPN. So it's just on a smaller scale because the UFC is a bigger entity than Top Rank. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that in boxing, different promotional companies, different boxing entities does work with one another. We see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight, or them trying to strike a deal as we speak. Anthony Joshua fights for DAZN. Tyson Fury fights for ESPN. The same thing could be said when Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder. The same thing could be said when my man, what's his name? Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, as we speak, he got the same deal as Lomachenko on ESPN. And Terrence Crawford, he wants to fight Errol Spence. Bob Arum said that all of the fights with PBC are possible if the fighters are willing to fight Terrence Crawford. Matter of fact, Bob Arum went as far as giving Crawford to Al Heyman. He said, listen, for his next 2 fights before his contract is up, you could have him, Al. You could give him any 2 fighters. It could be Thurman, it could be Porter, and Errol Spence. You take care of Crawford. And obviously Al Heyman is like, I mean, there's a pandemic going on. He's trying to take care of his own fighters instead of another fighter on a different promotional company. So if Bob is willing to give up Crawford, who's undefeated and got all this momentum going for him, he can't offer Lomachenko to go get a VIP pass straight to the top against the man that's the highest paid as we speak at the lightweight division. He's making $3 million plus straight to his pocket. He don't got to pay the promoter 20%. He don't got to pay the manager 20% like Teofimo is. So even though Teofimo is getting 3.9 out of Triller, he's only walking away with 2.5 at the end of the day. Devin is walking away with 3 million plus straight to his pocket. So Devin is the highest paid. He got a belt. And Loma, coming off a loss, don't want to fight Devin and make the trip to the zone like he did against Gary Russell when he lost to Salido. Remember when Lomachenko lost to Salido, in order to make up for that, coming to the pros right away, he fought Gary Russell on Showtime, on Showbox. And like I said before, so you telling me the whole time Lomachenko been calling out Gervonta Tank Davis was just for clout? Because Gervonta is exclusive to Showbox. And Lomachenko, if he's exclusive to freaking ESPN, the fight can't get made if that's the case. So, like I said, they just make a bunch of excuses, and old media want to establish damage control, and they want to act like Linares' fight is official out of nowhere, when literally the man a day prior, when Lomachenko and Devin Haney were going back and forth, Linares was in denial that Devin sent him a contract. And that's what forced Devin to, like, you know what? If Linares don't want to fight, if freaking Fortuna don't want to fight, if nobody want to fight, if I can't get T.O., Ryan, nobody in the ring, might as well fight Loma. I'm going to fight Loma. And that's why he called out Loma on Twitter. And Loma said, set it up. You a coward. And all of a sudden, now he hiding behind a 90-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I said, the NBF rule applies everywhere. That's why Lomachenko, he got the complexion for the connection to utilize his WBC. Well, he ain't the champion no more, but the witness protection franchise, that still exists. You best believe that. So, I mean, I like I said, I guess ESPN, they fed up with erasing Lomachenko losses because now he got so many. Now they don't want him to take another loss. So what? It's a win-win situation. If you lose, so what? You lost to another top fighter. If you win, you back to the top right away. We know Teofimo don't want no smoke with Devin. So if Loma fights Devin and is successful, that's a VIP straight back to the top, because he could tell Teo, I fought the man that you don't want to fight. But it's ironic because even Loma don't want to fight Devin. They both don't want to fight Devin. And like I said, old media want to establish damage control all of a sudden. Now they want to make excuses, blame it on ESPN, blame it on Bob. One minute, Bob Arum tells the people that, listen, it's not up to me, it's up to the fighters. Shakur can't fight Oscar Valdez because Oscar Valdez have to agree that he's willing to fight Shakur. Shakur won it, but Oscar Valdez team and him has to win it as well, right? Now Bob, he blaming it on the fighter. And then when it's Lomachenko, then it's back on Bob. You know what I'm saying? So they keep flip-flopping. They keep going back and forth. When Devin hit up Lomachenko on Instagram a year ago, and he said, I got to fight for you on pay-per-view. You're going to make this amount of money. He was going to make more money than he was going to make against Teofimo Lopez. Lomachenko said, contact my manager. And now today, they contact their manager, and the manager says, Lomachenko manager says, contact Bob. They contact Bob, then Bob says, oh, we're not interested. Lomachenko's going to fight Camposis. So why is Lomachenko talking shit? If you're not interested, why Lomachenko is on Twitter talking shit? Excuse my language, but is this turning to Twitter fingers? Is that what's going on? Lomachenko, like I said, like, if you're going to avoid a fighter when he's a mandatory and you a champion, why the hell you avoiding the same fighter when he's a champion and you coming off a loss and you're not even a mandatory? You got nothing going for yourself. So, like I said, at the end of the day, respect is earned, not given. You can hate or love Haney, but your fighters respect the heck out of him because they won't even hop in the ring with him. I mean, like I said, I really thought Lomachenko was gonna fight Devin Haney coming off a loss. It was no brainer to me. I was like, you coming off a loss, man. Nobody care about you right now. The momentum is gone. All that old media hype, all that old media machine that was pushing Lomachenko to the forefront is gone because he's the greatest since Muhammad Ali. Where he at? Really? Since Muhammad Ali? He didn't even want to fight Salido again. And like I said before, Lomachenko is the one that said Floyd Mayweather is my dream fight. We don't believe you. You need more people, because if it's true that Floyd Mayweather is your dream fight, then why not fight the fighter that has a nickname, The Dream? Devin Haney nickname is The Dream. So why you don't fight Devin Haney? It's a no-brainer. Like I said, Floyd Mayweather prodigy. It doesn't add up or make any sense. I appreciate the love and support. My man said, keep coming with the real, my brother. Thanks for all your hard work. I appreciate it, my brother. So, yeah, like I said, man. Hold on. Now, for the people that say, Loma, if he loses again, he will lose. He's pretty much done. I mean, I wouldn't say that, because right now, if he beats Nakatani, it really doesn't say much. Like, it's okay. It's coming off a win. You know, you're gonna be a fighter coming off a win, but still, you didn't prove anything. You know, Nakatani, he's beatable because he gets hit a lot. We saw Flex Verdejo drop him on more than one occasion and nearly beat him. You know what I'm saying? So Nakatani is a good fighter. He gave Teofimo Lopez trouble because he's longer rangey. But why do you think Teofimo don't want to fight Devin? Because he also longer rangey. So that's what comes with the territory, is that the fact that he's longer rangey and more mobile and athletic, better defense, better hand speed, better IQ than Nakatani. So Tio's looking at it like, man, if Nakatani gave me hell with his height and reach, imagine someone that could control the range and fight of his height and reach better than Nakatani. It's a stylistic thing, and also is a confident thing. Like, they sparred before, so Teofimo know what time it is. And it ain't just Teofimo. I'm just saying it's everybody. You know, we could talk about Teofimo's coming off a win against Lomachenko. Lomachenko lost, and he don't want to fight Devin. Think about that. It's going to be his biggest payday. It's going to be for a title shot, straight back to the top, and he still don't want to fight Devin. If you still got some respect, you might want to donate it back over here, because we losing all respect for Lomachenko for pulling off a move like that. You know, like Bill said, it's ironic that Tio and Loma is gonna they call Devin Haney an email champion, but Devin is emailing and petitioning to fight them. Meanwhile, they emailing Teofimo and Lomachenko, they emailing and petitioning not to fight Devin. And turn around and call Devin the email champion when they emailed and petitioned not to fight Devin. Think about it. So let that sink in. With the moment in time, I do want to talk about Teofimo Lopez. He shockingly, I don't understand what Teofimo Lopez is talking about. Teofimo Lopez recently had an interview which he said that against Camposas, which is a good fighter, Camposas, he said that at the end of the day is the takeover, but he's looking to beat Teofimo Lopez. He's not intimidated by him at all. So it's going to be a good fight, right? It's just not on the level of Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. It's not that type of a fight, but you never know with the way Teofimo Lopez is talking about everybody, you know, except of Camposas. You see Teofimo Lopez, he's constantly talking about Devin Haney, Ryan, Javante, Josh Taylor. Like, Camposas is just not in his mind. So it smells like an upset. I'm not saying that I will pick Composers to beat Teofimo Lopez, but if there's a right time where you could catch Teofimo, maybe not, I won't say not focused or not ready, but excuse me, I'm not gonna say he's not ready. He's just not as focused as he should be on Composers because he's window shopping. Now Teofimo Lopez came out and said that he's going to sell up to 2 million pay-per-views or around 2 million against Composers on Triller. Now, mind you, initially there were news and reports, according to Chris Mannix, that Composers versus Teofimo Lopez is on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Holyfield trilogy. However, that happened not to be the case. So if that's the case, I don't see Teofimo selling nowhere near 1 million against Composers on Triller. If we are being realistic, I mean, the biggest stars in the game, which is Errol Spence, Gervonta, even Canelo, they do around 300,000 every time they fight on pay-per-view. Canelo Alvarez last pay-per-view against Caleb Smith, I don't think he even sold 200,000 pay-per-views. The numbers flopped so bad, they never released the pay-per-view numbers to this day. To this day. So the numbers been flopping so bad, they never released the numbers to this day. Therefore, I don't see Teofimo Lopez fighting Composers selling nowhere near 2 million. I mean, that's a crazy projection. I see how Teofimo Lopez had Triller betting $6 million on this fight. I mean, if he done told them behind closed doors that he think this fight is going to sell around 2 million, and he got them to believe that he could do anything near that, I mean, I'd be shocked to just the people behind closed doors. If they believe that, that's crazy, because this fight should, I mean, if it does 200,000 to 300,000, that's extremely successful for this type of fight. Because like I said before, when Errol Spence fought Porter, he sold 350,000 pay-per-view buys. You also have Gervonta, when he fought Leo Santa Cruz, he sold around 300. And Teofimo Lopez is nowhere near the star that Errol Spence is today, and Gervonta Tank Davis. So him selling 2 million pay-per-views, I don't see that happening at all. I don't think that's realistic. I just think that he's just speaking it to existence, and I don't think it's going to come to fruition. Like I said, I'd be surprised if Teofimo versus Composers sell around 200,000. So in the chat box, drop in the chat box how much you guys think Teofimo versus Composers is going to sell. Do you guys think it's going to hit the 2 million at all? If not, how much is Teofimo? What is the projection you guys see Teofimo selling against Composers? My man said 50K. Brandon said 90. Well, that's more reasonable. Abdul said 150. GM said 50. 80. Okay. 50, 60. So, yeah, I mean, 200, if they could do 200, that's definitely a success all around the board. You know what I'm saying? So 90, 80. Yeah, so like I said, less than 70. So ain't no telling, because obviously this is Teofimo Lopez's first pay-per-view, but I think it's not like I said, all publicity is not good publicity. And the fact that he didn't fight Devin when he could have, like I said, he want to blame it on the IBF when the people already know the truth, because his own manager admitted that he could have fought Devin, and the IBF would have gave him an exception if he wanted to have a mega fight with Devin for the real undisputed to clear up all the dispute. So if he would have done that, then definitely Devin Haney versus Tio would have did major numbers. Not 2 million, but they would have did a lot of pay-per-view sales if he fought Devin. But against Composers, like I said, Composers is a good fighter. However, he popular in Australia, just not in the United States. So it's kind of hard to sell a foreigner as a pay-per-view event. So if they do 200,000, I think Triller will be able to make their money back off that, at least break even. But anything below that, Triller is pretty much paying money just to put their name on the map, even though they already did with Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. But this is more like a real event, not an exhibition. They could put Jake Paul on the undercard and against the UFC guy, the UFC fighter that he's fighting, Ben, I believe. That could boost the numbers. It will be smart on their behalf, because if they have like a famous YouTuber against and then have a real fight like Teofimo Lopez versus Composers, then I could see that fight doing tremendous numbers. Maybe I would say 300, 400. They could do around the nowhere near 2 million any freaking way. But I'm just saying they will do around 400, 200, 300, But without Jake Paul, just off the Teofimo Lopez name alone with Composers, it's going to be hard to push this fight as a pay-per-view event. Not too many people is going to be able to pay for it. Like I said, I'll be watching, but at the end of the day, not too many people willing to buy pay-per-view like that for fights that aren't 50-50, even though I felt like we could possibly see an upset. I mean, because Teofimo is window shopping too much. He's talking about everybody and anybody instead of, Composers. Like I said before, I still got Teofimo Lopez, but I won't be too surprised if Composers gives him a good fight at the end of the day, or at least the night. So it's going to be interesting to see the developments that take place, knowing that Teofimo Lopez, he already shitted on YouTube boxers. He said that they're making a mockery of the sport. He was referring to the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, them trolling fighters like Conor McGregor, so on and so forth. But it's funny, Teofimo is out here trolling Devin. So it's like, okay, well, if you want to put boxing on the map, how about at least Jake Paul? He trolling Conor McGregor, but he actually want to fight Conor McGregor. Teofimo, he's trolling Devin, promising Mike he gonna fight Devin, but he ends up not fulfilling his promises and just trolling instead. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Jake Paul, he really want to fight Conor McGregor. I mean, regardless who you think it could win, he really want to fight. You know what I'm saying? So he could capitalize on trolling, if you want to call it trolling then. But at the end of the day, he already kind of shitted on Jake Paul. So it's like, it's a bad look on him if he have Jake Paul on the undercard and he promoting YouTube fights in a way. So it's kind of like they're going to have Teofimo Lopez needs his own card in a way, which is going to end up hurting the pay-per-view sales. So we'll see. Like I said, he believes he's going to sell around 2 million. Like I said before, I don't see it coming to fruition, but at the end of the day, speaker, believer, receiver, right? So with that being said, there's nothing really to talk about. Like I said before, I'm gonna go on live, I believe maybe Saturday or Monday. I already kind of talked about and have a lot of videos to upload. Be on the lookout for the cookout on my next video of Errol Spence, offering Terrence Crawford a fight. So I'm gonna post this right after this live. I'm gonna go work on it and finish the video. With that being said, subscribe, click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post or go live on Split Decision. And peace, we out here.
Anybody can get it.